Yes, sir.
All of you, from boys, respond.
Yes, sir.
Make it fast. Small diagram. Is it visible and clear to everyone? If you are facing any type of problem, you can intimate me. Shall we move? Next slide.
Yes, sir.
Then this is also same. It is not easy to visualize them in 2 dimensions, and hence they are observed in figure and below figure. So this is the way. This is the we have core and cladding. This is the fiber. Round shape is the fiber. Outer layer is the cladding. Inner layer is the core. Within the core, the light is propagating in this manner, helical shape. Helical shape. So here the propagation is a gamma. Gamma is the angle between the projections of the ray. Angle between the projections of the ray. For each projection, we have 2 gamma angle. So here he has mentioned the helical path, that red line, second point here I am explaining. The helical path traced through the fiber gives change in direction of 2 gamma at each reflection. At each reflection, it is giving the angle of 2 gamma. For each reflection, it is giving the angle of 2 gamma. 2 gamma. Gamma is the angle between the 2 projections. Angle between the projections of the ray. You can draw this one also. This is a 2-dimensional way. So otherwise cross-sectional way. In the previous diagram, we can't able to identify exact reflections, but here you can able to identify this ray path. Our helical skew rays are nothing but the rays which are transmitting in the core in helical path. Those are nothing but skew rays. And the skew rays for each reflection are these are making 2 gamma angle. Okay. Then next, depend on the number of reflections. Skew rays depend on the number of reflections they undergo rather than input conditions of the fiber. Skew rays depend on the number of reflections. Number of reflections. If it is not visible, I can share complete screen. Just a minute. Still, some of them are joining. What is this? How it is? Okay, these are depend on the number of reflections. The light input is non-uniform. When the light input is not non-uniform, skew rays tend to have a smoothing effect on the distribution of light as it travel in the core. The second point is, if the input is not non-uniform, because of this helical effect, those can be uniformed by, those waves can be uniformed, and the output is uniform output. The light input is, when the light input is non-uniform, skew rays tend to have a smoothing effect on the distribution of the light as it is transmitting, as it is transmitted, giving a more uniform output. Output is uniform. If the input light is non-uniform, that can done by smoothing effect. Smoothing can be done in the skew rays. The amount of smoothing depends on the number of reflections. Based on number of reflections, smoothing can be done. Based on number of reflections, smoothing can be done. That means proper wave output will get, proper light output will get. So the next one, we are going to find the theta A for skew rays. Theta A for skew rays. 63. Apeksha. 63. Is it audible? 63
Yes,
is
sir.
here. 63. Number 70. Fatima. 70. Number 70, Fatima. Respond quickly.
Yes, sir.
70.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
what is theta A? What is theta A?
Skew rays, sir.
What is theta A? My slide is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Then tell me what is theta A?
Theta A for skew rays, sir.
Theta A means what? That is I'm asking. $79. $79 Mount. Manasa is here. Manasa. Manasa is here. Not responding. You are here or not? Are you listening my voice or not? 74. 74. 74. Josna. Josna. 71.